Hello everyone. So today we will start with chapter 5, which is on natural vegetation and wildlife. So have you observed the type of trees, bushes, grasses and birds in the fields and parks and in and around your school? Are they similar or there are variations? India being a vast country, you can imagine the types of bioforms available throughout the country. So types of bioforms. So different types of physiography is there available in India. We studied that. Different types of climatic zones are in India. We have studied that. Though broadly it is monsoon type, but still there are huge variations from deserts to from hot desert to cold desert, mountainous region and different kinds. So bioforms will also the life forms will also vary in these regions. Just like geography shapes culture, geography also shapes biology, biodiversity. Our country, India, is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries. Mega biodiversity countries. Biodiversity means यहाँ पे तरह तरह के diverse life forms हैं. So it is one of the 12 mega biodiversity countries of the world with about 47,000 plant species. India occupies 10th place in the world and 4th in Asia in plant diversity. Plant diversity में क्या रैंक है आप देख सकते हैं. 10th in world and 4th in Asia and 1 by 12 mega biodiversity regions, biodiversity countries. There are about 15,000 flowering plants in India, 15,000 flowering plants, which account for 6% of the world's total number of flowering plants, which is 6%. The country has many non-flowering plants. There are non-flowering plants as well, such as ferns, algae, fungi, bonsai, however you pronounce it. India also has approximately 90,000 species of animals. 90,000 species of animals, as well as a rich variety of fish. India has coastal areas as well, fish in its fresh and marine, both fresh and marine waters. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally. Now we are defining a term, natural vegetation. So as the name says, which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by humans for a long time. This is termed as virgin vegetation. Thus, cultivated crops and fruits orchards form part of vegetation but not natural vegetation. नेचुरल वेजिटेशन ने जो अपने आप ग्रो किया है और ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन उसमें निल है एक तरह से. तो जनरली जी जो old forests हैं, which have not been disturbed by humans or shaped by humans in any way. The virgin vegetation, which are purely Indian, are known as endemic. So endemic किसको बोलते हैं? Whichever vegetation is present only in a particular region, so that plant or that species will become endemic to that region. So in case of India, it will be endemic to India or indigenous species. So any species which is found only in India, that will be endemic to India. Indigenous भी बोलते हैं इसको, native भी use कर देते हैं term, but those which have come from outside India are termed as exotic. So India या फिर किसी भी region के लिए true है, if अगर इंडिया से किसी दूसरी जगह पे कोई प्लांट स्पीशीज जाता है तो that will be exotic for that place and it is native for India. So foreign species are exotic. The term flora is used to denote plants. Flora किसके लिए use करते हैं? Plants के लिए. Similarly, these species animals are referred as fauna. Now we will study the types of vegetation. The following major types of vegetation may be identified in our country. So which types of vegetations are available in India? Broad categorization we will study. Tropical evergreen forest, tropical deciduous forests, tropical thorn forests and scrubs, montane forests, mangrove forests. Now here is some depiction in the picture. Try not to ignore anything. This is showing tropical evergreen forest, so we will see it during that. So our first topic is tropical evergreen forest. These forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of the Western Ghats. So इसका criteria क्या है? Heavy rainfall areas. Now we have already studied climate, precipitation, so we can guess where these areas will be. For example, Western Ghats and the island groups of Lakshadweep, Andaman and Nicobar, upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu, coast. Tamil Nadu, not whole, coastal areas. ठीक है, तो ऐसे ही geography के chapters interlinked होते हैं. That's why we first studied physiography. Physiography helped us in understanding the climate And now climate and physiography combinedly are helping us to understand the vegetation part. So this is kind of third layer that we are understanding, building on the concepts that we have built till now. ठीक है, heavy rainfall western घाट we know, orographic rainfall होता है. आइलैंड ग्रुप्स हैं तो चारों तरफ से सराउंडेड है, तो सीधे ही रेनफॉल का यहाँ पे है ऑलमोस्ट ऑलवेज, देयर इज नथिंग टू प्रिवेंट द क्लाउड्स. इसके बाद आसाम नॉर्थ ईस्ट में हमने देखा था कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में भी बे ऑफ बंगाल की ब्रांच मानसून की जाकर के हैवी रेनफॉल करती है. तमिलनाडु कोस्ट बिकॉज यहाँ पे नॉर्थ ईस्ट ट्रेड जो है वो अरेबियन सी से मॉइस्चर पिक करती है एंड देयर इज हेवी रेनफॉल. Plus there is cyclonic impact also, influence also. They're at their best in areas having more than 200 centimeter rainfall. So that can be taken as criteria where the best characteristic of tropical evergreen forest you can find with a short dry season. So dry season should be short. The trees reach great heights. Now these are the characteristics of vegetation of the evergreen forest, tropical evergreen forest. Trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or even above. 60 मीटर या उससे बड़े पेड़ भी हो सकते हैं. Since the region is warm and wet throughout the year, it has luxuriant vegetation of all kinds. So temperature भी है plus humidity भी available है, तो which is a favorable condition for growth of plant. आपने देखा होगा मानसून के सीजन में plants कितनी तेजी से grow करते हैं. That kind of weather is available here for a longer period of time. तो यहाँ पे trees, shrubs, creepers, multi-layer structure के साथ grow करते हैं. There is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves. और आपने देखा होगा fall weather आता है. Fall weather is all season कब आता है? There is spring. Spring में नए leaves और फ्लावरिंग्स होते हैं, और फॉल में क्या होता है, लीव्स शेड करते हैं ट्रीज. बट नो सच सीजन यू कैन फाइंड इन ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन एंड दैट्स व्हाई द नेम इज एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट. एवरग्रीन्स ऑलवेज ग्रीनरी मेंटेन करेंगे, और ऐसा क्यों होगा? एज सच दीज फॉरेस्ट अपीयर ग्रीन ऑल द ईयर्स राउंड. और ऐसा क्यों होता है? बिकॉज not all trees have same time of shedding. So trees will shed their leaves, but different trees will shed their leaves at different times. So greenery will be intact of the forest. Some of the commercially important trees, that's another aspect that we see of this forest, are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, rubber, and whatever you pronounce this, cinchona. The common animals found in these forests. Now we are referring to the fauna of the forest. Elephant, वेस्टर्न घाट्स, आप उससे इमेजिन करो आसाम, आसाम ने बता दिया, वेस्टर्न घाट से बता दिया, तो आप यू सी यू ऑलरेडी हैव सम आइडिया कि किस रीजन में किस टाइप के एनिमल्स मिलते हैं, प्लांट्स मिलते हैं. सो एलिफेंट्स यू फाइंड मंकी, लेमर, डियर, वन हॉर्न राइनोसेरस. कहाँ पे मिलते हैं? आसाम में. Are found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. Besides these animals, plenty of birds, bats, sloth, scorpions, and snails are also found in these jungles. So we primarily study the important animals, important fauna. General species तो हर जगह ही मिलेंगे, but important species which are either endemic or they are flagship or they are endangered, such kind of species we try to focus more on. Now coming to the tropical deciduous forest, we will see the diagram that we were referring earlier. If you see, this is the tropical evergreen forest and multi-layer structure that was talked. So maximum height of around 60 meters, emergent layer. So you see one layer will be above, and it is multi-layered because of plenty of sunlight and humidity that is available. 40 meters canopy layer, 20 meters, young trees, shrubs and layers. So even till bottom you have shrubs, okay, and that's how you have multi-layered structure. Now tropical deciduous forests, these are the most widespread forests of India, most widespread. They are also called the monsoon forests and spread over the region, receiving rainfall between 200 to 70 सेंटीमीटर. तो हमने जो प्रेसिपिटेशन का मैप देखा था इंडिया का, उसमें हैवी प्रेसिपिटेशन वाले जोन थे, वहां पे आपका हो गया ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन फॉरेस्ट, और जो मॉडरेट रेनफॉल वाले जितने भी एरिया थे उन सब जगह पे आपको मिलेगा ट्रॉपिकल डेसिडुअस फॉरेस्ट, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज आल्सो द predominant kind of forest, predominant kind of natural vegetation found in India, which is monsoon forest. तो पूरे नॉर्थ इंडिया में और इन सब जगह पे आपको करीब करीब जहाँ भी मॉडरेट रेनफॉल था वहाँ पे आपको ये फॉरेस्ट मिलेगा. Trees of this forest shed their leaves for about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. For about 6 to 8 weeks in dry summer. तो समर में, ड्राई समर में ये शेड करते हैं लीव को. On the basis of the availability of water, These forests are further divided into moist. अब इसमें भी रेनफॉल के पैटर्न को देखते हुए दो एक्सट्रीम्स पे जा सकते हैं. अगर एक रेंज बनाए मानसून फॉरेस्ट का ही, तो विद इन दैट यू विल हैव सम एरियाज वेयर देयर इज more humidity, more availability of water, and there will be some areas which are relatively drier. तो जो जहाँ पे ज़्यादा है ह्यूमिडिटी अवेलेबल, तो जहाँ पे थोड़ा ज़्यादा ह्यूमिडिटी है वहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं मॉइस्ट डेसिडुअस, और जहाँ पे थोड़ा ड्राइनेस ज़्यादा है वहाँ पे ड्राई डेसिडुअस. The former is found in areas receiving rainfall between 200 to 100 centimeters. तो 200 to 70 सेंटीमीटर का ब्रॉड डिवीजन है, लेकिन 200 to 100 सेंटीमीटर that is moist deciduous forests. These forests, अब हम moist deciduous की बात कर रहे हैं. These forests therefore mostly in the eastern part of the country. ईस्टर्न पार्ट हमने क्या देखा था इंडिया के मैप में, रेनफॉल जब हम पढ़ रहे थे मानसून वेदर का, एडवांसिंग मानसून, तो उन्होंने बताया कि ईस्ट से वेस्ट की तरफ प्रेसिपिटेशन रिड्यूस होता है. तो मॉइस्ट डेसिडुअस कहाँ होगा? अगर ये नॉर्दर्न बेल्ट में आपका पूरा मॉइस्ट डेसिडुअस है, तो ईस्टर्न साइड में ज़्यादा रेनफॉल है और वेस्टर्न साइड में कम रेनफॉल है. तो इस साइड हो गया आपका मॉइस्ट डेसिडुअस और इस साइड हो जाएगा आपका ड्राई डेसिडुअस. The former is found in areas receiving rainfall between them. These areas, therefore, mostly in the eastern part of the country, northeastern states along the foothills of the Himalayas, Jharkhand, West Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of Western Ghats. तो एक तो ये वाला एरिया हो गया, प्लस नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न एरिया में जो आसाम का एरिया है वहाँ पे बहुत हेवी रेनफॉल हो रहा है, वहाँ पे आपका ट्रॉपिकल एवरग्रीन हो गया. Apart from that, other northeastern they also receive relatively heavy rainfall, so वहाँ पे आपका moist deciduous हो गया. Foothills of Himalayas there also. Now vegetation, teak. Teak is the most dominant species of this forest. Of which forest? Moist deciduous. Bamboos, sal, shisham, sandalwood, khair, kusum, arjun, and mulberry are other commercially important species. Now the dry deciduous, come to dry deciduous, are found in areas having rainfall between 100 to 70 centimeter. These forests are found in the rainier parts of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. There are open stretches in which teak, sal, peepal and neem grow. A large part of this region has been cleared for cultivation and some parts are used for grazing. ठीक है, तो अब हम इस जोन में आ गए हैं. ठीक है, तो अब ये उससे कम जो जहाँ पे रेनफॉल हो रहा है, तो उसमें रीजन्स आ गए बिहार, उत्तर प्रदेश, पेनिनसुलर प्लेटू में जो बच गए हैं, वेस्टर्न घाट्स के वेस्टर्न ईस्टर्न पार्ट को छोड़ के जो एरियाज बच गए हैं, तमिलनाडु कोस्ट को छोड़ के जो एरिया बच गए हैं, सो ऑल ऑफ दोज एरियाज, प्लेन्स ऑफ बिहार एंड उत्तर प्रदेश, इन सब जगह पे आपका नेचुरल वेजिटेशन ये होगा. बट जो जहाँ पे एग कल्टिवेशन बहुत ईजिली हो सकता है और जहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो वहाँ पे ऑलरेडी इन एरियाज को क्लियर कर लिया गया है एंड नाउ कल्टिवेशन हैपेंस देयर. Natural vegetation is very limited. Some parts are used for grazing. In these forests, the common animals found are, now common animal fauna is lion, tiger, pig, deer, elephant. A huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes, and tortoises are also found here. The thorn forests and scrubs. In regions with less than 70 centimeter of rainfall, the natural vegetation consists of thorny trees. This is your vegetation pattern, if you see. So, tropical evergreen, you can see the dark colored areas. These are tropical evergreen, tropical deciduous, all of these areas. That is tropical deciduous only. So, you will have moist areas like this, and dry areas will be more of this side. Again, wherever you have green boundaries, heavy rainfall area, so in the boundary regions you will have what? You will have moist deciduous. ऐसा तो सडन नहीं होगा ना कि बहुत ज़्यादा हेवी रेनफॉल हो रहा है उसके बगल में बिल्कुल ही एकदम ड्राई डेसिडुअस आ गया और फिर मॉइस्ट डेसिडुअस, ऐसा तो होगा नहीं. कंटिन्यूअस जोन होगा. तो जो हेवी रेनफॉल का एरिया है उसके जो बाउंड्री वाले एरियाज हैं, इन सब में आपका क्या हो जाएगा? Moist deciduous. Similarly, you can find moist deciduous in these regions. Eastern slope of Eastern Ghats. ठीक है. Then you have some areas here. It will be some logical mental map you can make. So we were at thorny thorn forests and scrubs. Natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and bushes. This type of vegetation is found in the northwestern part of the country, which is the desert areas that we know already. Okay, including semi-arid areas of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. So these are the areas where northwestern area basically. Now, what are the vegetations? Acacias, palms, euphorbias, cacti are the main plant species. Okay, acacias include babool, etc. Palms, khajur, etc. Such plants. Euphorbias, cacti, already. Cactus type of plants. Trees are scattered. Now, another characteristic. For example, we studied in tropical evergreen that there was multi-layered structure of forest. Here you have trees that are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil in order to get moisture. Obviously, ज़्यादा लंबे roots होंगे ताकि moisture जमीन के नीचे से मिल सके. ऊपर तो पूरा dry है. The stems are succulent. Stems आपको मोटे मिलेंगे. Even leaves you can find sometimes thick. To conserve water, leaves are mostly thick and small. Thick and small. So small they in fact start turning into thorns at times. For example, in cactus. To minimize evaporation, these forests give way to thorn forests and scrubs in the arid areas. तो ये जो vegetation है ये आपका semi arid region का है और यहाँ से further आप desert condition में जाओगे which is arid areas. तो वहाँ पे आपको क्या मिलेगा? वहाँ पे आपको मिलेगा thorn forest and scrubs. वहाँ सिर्फ thorn forest बचेगा. So जैसा कि मैंने शुरुआत में बताया कि there will always be a transition zone. तो जैसे अब ये कम बारिश वाला एरिया है तो ऑब्वियसली यहाँ का वेजिटेशन और यहाँ का वेजिटेशन विल नॉट बी सेम. यहाँ पे अगर मॉडरेट रेनफॉल लेस देन मॉडरेट रेनफॉल हो रहा है तो यहाँ पे तुरंत ड्राई एरिया नहीं हो जाएगा. देयर विल बी सम जोन ऑफ सेमी एरिड जोन. उसी की बात है. तो इन सब पे आपको सेमी एरिड वाले जो हैं वो मिल जाएंगे और जितना आप इधर जाओगे उतना ही ज़्यादा वो एरिड रीजन के प्लांट्स का वेजिटेशन उस टाइप का मिलेगा, फौना उस टाइप की मिलेगी. Now the common animals are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses and camels. So camels is a easily identifiable, but other things you can see. Wild ass is also another flagship animal found in these, especially in the regions of Kutch, etc. Now montane forests. In mountainous areas, the decrease in temperature with increasing altitude, decrease in temperature with increasing altitude leads to the corresponding change in natural vegetation. What is happening? जैसे जैसे हम ऊपर जाएंगे टेम्परेचर डिक्रीज करेगा और इसकी वजह से हाइट के साथ आपका वेजिटेशन भी चेंज करेगा. If climatic factors are changing with altitude, so your vegetation and fauna available there will also change accordingly. As such, there is a succession of natural vegetation belts in the same order as we see from tropical to the tundra. एक देखिए और जनरल पैटर्न. ये बोल रहा है कि नेचुरल वेजिटेशन एल्टीट्यूड के साथ कैसे चेंज करेगा. सो बोल रहा है कि सक्सेशन ऑफ नेचुरल वेजिटेशन इज इन द सेम ऑर्डर एज वी सी फ्रॉम ट्रॉपिकल टू द टुंड्रा रीजन. तो अर्थ में वी नो दैट, ठीक है, लैटिट्यूडिनल डिवीजन है यहाँ से पोलर रीजन. ये आपका इक्वेटर हो गया एंड दिस इज योर पोल. सिमिलरली फॉर सदर्न हेमिस्फेयर. तो यहाँ से आप जाते हो तो ये इक्वेटोरियल क्लाइमेट होगा, इक्वेटोरियल वेजिटेशन होगा. इसके बाद ट्रॉपिकल, फिर सब ट्रॉपिकल, फिर टेम्परेट एंड देन यू हैव पोलर एट द एंड. ठीक है. तो टुंड्रा आपका, टुंड्रा यहाँ पे पोलर के आसपास जाके टुंड्रा मिलता है आपका वेजिटेशन। यहाँ पहुँचते पहुँचते एक तरह से आप समझ लो कि टुंड्रा वेजिटेशन आपको मिलेगा। और ट्रॉपिक्स में आपको मिलेगा ट्रॉपिकल। तो जैसे लैटिट्यूडनल वेरिएशन आपका हो रहा है और वेजिटेशन जैसे चेंज होती है, वही सेम आपको यहाँ पे ऑर्डर मिलेगा जैसे जैसे आप ऊपर जाओगे। और सपोज ऊपर जाके आप ग्लेशियर वाली जोन में चले गए तो यहाँ टुंड्रा मिल जाएगा आपको वेजिटेशन, उससे पहले टैगा होगा, एंड सिमिलरली करते करते आप नीचे आ जाओगे टेम्परेट, सब ट्रॉपिक्स एंड ट्रॉपिक्स। तो ट्रॉपिकल टू टुंड्रा का जो वेरिएशन लैटिट्यूडनली मिलता है, उसी टाइप का यहाँ पे आपको बेल्ट वाइज मिलेगा as height changes altitudinally also. The same pattern will be observed. So now the wet temperate type of forests are found between a height of 1000 and 2000 meters. Wet temperate type of forests. ठीक है, ये कहाँ से कहाँ मिलता है? 1000 to 2000 meters. Evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks and chestnuts predominate. Where? In the wet temperate type. So 1000 to 2000 में आपको क्या मिल रहा है? Evergreen broadleaf trees such as oaks and chestnuts. Between 1500 to 3000 temperate forests. इसमें क्या मिल रहा है? Temperate forest containing, ये देखिए प्लान Montane forest में क्या शो कर रहा है कि with height the type of trees are changing. Coniferous trees like coniferous मिल रहा है 1500 to 3000 में. Pine, deodar, silver-fir, spruce and cedar are found. These forests cover mostly the southern slope of the Himalayas. तो हिमालयस अगर आप इंडिया में देखोगे तो इंडिया के साइड से कौन सा अगर हिमालयस है तो ये इस साइड से इंडिया है, तो सदर्न स्लोप इस साइड होगा और नॉर्दर्न स्लोप किस साइड से होगा? तिब्बतन साइड से जब आप आओगे. प्लेसेस हैविंग हाई एल्टीट्यूड इन सदर्न एंड नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया. तो हाई एल्टीट्यूड पे ये मिलेगा सदर्न स्लोप पे. एट हायर एलिवेशंस टेम्परेट ग्रासलैंड मिलेंगे जब आप और ऊपर जाते हो. At high altitudes, generally more than 3600 meters above the sea level, temperate forests and grasslands give way to the alpine vegetation. अब alpine vegetation शुरू हो जाएगा more than 3600 पे. Silver fir, junipers, pines and birches are the common trees of these forests. However, they get progressively stunted. तो कुछ दूर तक ये सेम ट्रीज रहेंगे, लेकिन क्या होते जा रहे हैं? उनकी स्टंटेड होते जा रहे हैं, उनकी हाइट कम होती जाएगी. दे अप्रोच दी स्नो लाइन. कहाँ? जैसे जैसे आप स्नो लाइन को अप्रोच करते हो तो उनकी हाइट कम होती जाएगी. व्हाट इज स्नो लाइन? मान लीजिए ऊपर आपका पूरा आइस है, तो कहीं आके ये आइस खत्म होगा किसी स्लोप, किसी एल्टीट्यूड पे. सो दैट एल्टीट्यूड विल फॉर्म दी स्नो लाइन. ठीक है, इसके ऊपर पूरा आइस है आपका, इसके नीचे आपका आइस नहीं है. सो दैट इज द स्नो लाइन. तो स्नो लाइन तक पहुंचते पहुंचते क्या हो रहा है? इसकी हाइट कम होती जाएगी. ट्रीज आर फ्रॉम द सेम स्पीशीज, सिल्वर फिर, जूनिपर्स, पाइन्स एंड बर्चेस, बट उनकी हाइट स्टंट होती जाएगी. अल्टीमेटली थ्रू shrubs and scrubs they merge into the alpine grasslands. Through shrubs and scrubs they merge into the alpine grasslands. तो अब अल्पाइन ग्रासलैंड शुरू हो जाएगा और उसमें वो मर्ज हो जाएंगे श्रब्स के फॉर्म में जाते जाते. These are used extensively for grazing by nomadic tribes. अब इनका क्या यूज है ये भी आप पढ़ेंगे. बहुत सारी nomadic tribes होती है, for example Gujjars and Bakarwals. So how they use these grasslands for grazing. ठीक है, sheeps वगैरह पालते हैं ये. तो ये आप पढ़ोगे प्रोसेस, इसको बोलते हैं ट्रांसह्यूमेंस. इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म, ट्रांसह्यूमेंस. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि जब गर्मी आती है तब विंटर में तो यहाँ पर भी स्नो आ जाएगा, इन सब ग्रासलैंड वगैरह में भी, तो जाने लायक नहीं रहता है. इट्स नॉट feasible to go there. But in summers, जब snow line recede करेगी and the grassland is available, then these nomadic tribes they take their herds of sheep etc. and they go to these places and use these grasslands for grazing purposes. At higher altitudes, mosses and lichens form part of the tundra vegetation. ठीक है, जहाँ पे केवल आइस है, आइस रहेगा सॉइल की जगह, तो वहाँ पे धीरे धीरे आपको इस टाइप की वेजिटेशंस मिलेंगी. which is called tundra vegetation. The common animals found in these forests, अब वो एक साथ बता दे रहे हैं common animals को. Kashmir stag, important है. Spotted deer, wild sheep, jack rabbit, Tibetan antelope. Antelope means एक तरह से deer का ही प्रजाति हुआ. Yak, snow leopard, squirrels, shaggy horn, wild ibex. Ibex goat का एक प्रजाति, goat type का एक प्रजाति होती है, species होती है. Bear, bear and rare red panda. Red panda is important. ये आपको नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न फॉरेस्ट में मिलेगा, हिमालयन फॉरेस्ट में, रेड पांडा. शीप एंड गोट्स विद थिक हेयर्स. कश्मीर स्टैग है, इसका भी एक पर्टिकुलर नाम है, आप पता करिए, हंगुल या कुछ ऐसा नाम है. सो दोज आर इम्पोर्टेंट. इसमें एक, हाँ, स्नो लेपर्ड, दैट इज ऑल्सो फ्लैगशिप स्पीसीज. Snow leopard, you will not find anywhere else in India. Now we will move to mangrove forests. The mangrove tidal forests are found in the areas of coasts influenced by tides. Mud and silt get accumulated on such coasts. Dense mangroves are the common varieties with roots of the plants submerged under water. तो जहाँ पे भी टाइड्स आ रहे हैं, कोस्टल रीजन है, तो एक तो वहाँ की खासियत क्या है कि मरीन वाटर, सॉल्ट वाटर आ रहा है. ठीक है, सॉल्ट वाटर प्लस मड एंड सॉइल बोल दिया इसने. इन ट्रीज की खासियत क्या है कि सबमर्ज्ड अंडर वाटर. एंड विच काइंड ऑफ वाटर? सॉल्ट वाटर. सॉल्ट वाटर के अंदर सबमर्ज्ड होते हैं और उसमें भी सर्वाइव करते हैं. नॉट एवरी काइंड ऑफ प्लांट कैन सर्वाइव देयर. The deltas of the Ganga, the Mahanadi, the Krishna, the Godavari and the Kaveri are covered by such vegetation. तो ये डेल्टा के रीजन में मिलते हैं. इन द गंगा ब्रह्मपुत्र डेल्टा सुंदरी ट्रीज, ये हमने उस समय भी देखा था, इससे पहले भी, आर फाउंड गंगा ब्रह्मपुत्र डेल्टा विच इज सुंदरबन, which provide durable hard timber. Palm, coconut, keora, agar, etc. also grown in some parts of the delta. So some of the plants are durable hard sundari trees. They're important. Palm, coconut, keora, agar, etc. also grow in some parts of the delta. Royal Bengal tiger is famous animal. Sundarban again. In these forests, turtles, crocodiles, gharials and snakes are also found in these forests. Now let us discuss what will happen if plants and animals disappear from the Earth's surface. Can the human being survive in such a situation? Why is biodiversity necessary and why should it be conserved? Can humans survive without them? That is a question. And what are the dimensions in which they are important for human life? So you can further enrich that through thinking about various dimensions, various ways in which they contribute to our life. One hint is given below, that is medicinal plants. India is known for its herbs and spices. Herbs and spices from ancient times. India has been trading this with Romans, etc. Some 2,000 plants have been described in Ayurveda, and at least 500 are in regular use. The World Conservation Union's Red List has named 352 medicinal plants, of which 52 are critically threatened and 49 endangered. The commonly used plants in India are, ठीक है, commonly used plants, कुछ तो आपने भी सुन रखा होगा, सर्पगंधा, ठीक है, अश्वगंधा वगैरह आपने सुन रखा होगा, जामुन, अर्जुन, बबूल, नीम, तुलसी, कचनार, ठीक है, और इनके वेरियस यूजेस हैं वो भी बताया गया आपको. So you can read that. Now coming to wildlife. Like its flora, India is also rich in its fauna. It has approximately 90,000 animal species. The country has about 2,000 species of birds. They constitute 13% of the world's total. जो 2,000 birds हैं, they are 13% of the total of world's bird population or bird species. And there are 2,546 species of fish, which account for nearly 12% of the world's stock. It also shares between 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians. What are amphibians? Reptiles and mammals. What is the difference between the three? And some of their examples, try to find out. Amphibians, you can understand, water as well as land. Reptiles, you understand. Then you have mammals. The elephants are the most majestic animals among the mammals. India is known as elephant. India, the nation itself, is sometimes imagined to be in the form of animals. For example, China is seen as panda. They are found in the hot, wet forests of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. One-horned rhinoceros are the other animals which live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. Arid areas of the run of Kutch and the Thar Desert are the habitat for wild ass and camels, respectively. Indian bison, that is also important species. गौर बोलते हैं इसको. अब देखना, it's a very majestic animal. गौर सर्च करना आप नेट पे. Indian bison, नीलगाय, चौसिंघा, gazelle, and different species of deer are some other animals found in India. It also has several species of monkeys. इसमें golden langur is famous one, where it is find out where they are found. Golden langur. Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in 1972. In which context it was brought, you can search, and there are several schedules in this act. Try to find out how many schedules are there and which kind of species are in the schedules. So, and schedules are for what purpose? For example, most of the schedules are as a protective category, that you cannot hunt these animals. But there is one schedule where hunting is allowed, permitted for some animals. They are known as vermins. They are declared as vermins. Example, Nilgai is sometimes also declared vermin, but mostly you have hogs and those things, rats, those things are declared as vermins, and you can hunt them, you can kill them. But rest of them you cannot even touch. India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. See, some important facts are there. Only country in the world to have both tigers and lions. The natural habitat of the Indian lions is the Gir forest. Natural habitat of lion is Gir forest in Gujarat. They are Asiatic lions. Asiatic lions. There are African lions, right? Similarly, tigers are Royal Bengal tigers. There are Siberian tigers and other types of tigers as well. Tigers are found in the forests of Madhya Pradesh, the Sundarbans of West Bengal, and the Himalayan regions. Leopards too are members of the cat family. They are important among animals of prey. Okay, leopards. Cheetahs भी introduced हुए हैं recently India में. So you should try to know. Earlier there were Indian cheetahs, but they became extinct. And now the African cheetahs from Namibia, etc., they have been introduced in India. Where they have been introduced, find out. Kuno, Palpur, etc. Try to learn more about them. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold. Ladakh's freezing high altitude are home to yak, shaggy horned wild ox weighing around 1 ton. The Tibetan antelope, deer family is referred to as antelope. The Bharal, blue sheep, wild sheep, and the Kiang, Tibetan wild ass. Furthermore, the ibex, bear, snow leopard, and rare red panda are found in certain pockets. Ibex is a goat kind of animal. In fact, goat family is referred to as ibex. In the rivers, lakes, and coastal areas, turtles, crocodiles, and gharials are found. Gharials are found where? Try to locate the areas in the country where gharials are found and where crocodiles are found. Further, you have freshwater gharials, freshwater crocs, freshwater gharials, and then you have saltwater. So where freshwaters are found and where salty ones are found. For example, in Chilika Lake, you will find all kinds of these animals, these reptiles, Chilika Lake, but that is a saltwater lake, so they will be saltwater. Where the freshwaters are found, try to find out. The latter is the only representative of a variety of crocodile found in the world today. Bird life in India is colorful. Now we are coming to birds: peacocks, pheasants, ducks, parakeets. Parakeets is like parrots. Cranes and pigeons are some of the birds inhabiting the forests and wetlands of the country. Wetlands. So wetlands are generally bird watching places or bird wildlife sanctuaries that you can see. We have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, that is, from the reserves of edible plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animal. They also provided us drought power. So now we are talking about how nature has provided us with various resources in the form of fauna and flora. So flora के रूप में जैसे क्रॉप्स हमने लिया है वो एडिबल प्लांट्स जो थे नेचुरली अकरिंग प्लांट्स में से वो क्रॉप्स बन गए हमारे. कुछ मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स थे, दे केम टू यूज. देन एनिमल्स में जो मिल्च एनिमल्स थे वो हमारे एनिमल हस्बेंड्री में काम आ गए. ड्राट पावर मतलब जैसे खेती वगैरह करने में वो पावर ही प्रोवाइड करते हैं. ठीक है, साथ में जैसे मिल चलाने में भी यूज होता है ऑक्स वगैरह का. ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में यूज होता है, मीट एंड एग्स में यूज है. द फिश प्रोवाइड्स न्यूट्रिटिव फूड्स. मैनी इंसेक्ट्स हेल्प इन पॉलिनेशन. बहुत सारे इंसेक्ट्स हैं पॉलिनेशन, उसके बिना कोई भी एग्रीकल्चर पॉसिबल नहीं है. एंड फ्रूट ट्रीज एंड exerting biological control on such insects is harmful. Every species has a role to play. So basically the question that was asked कि nature इनके बिना हम survive कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, that is being discussed in a way. Now some activity has been given, can refer to that. Some wildlife reserves, try to update this map, or you can refer to the latest updated atlas. So wildlife reserves, so you have find out which kind of protected areas are there in India. You will have to refer to Wildlife Protection Act 1972, refer to it, and you will have which kind of protected areas are there in the India. So you have national forests, national reserve forests, then you have wildlife sanctuaries and similar other areas, biosphere reserves. So try to find out these. And some biosphere reserves are also recognized by MABs, Man and Biosphere Reserve Program of World. So which biosphere reserves are recognized under this, that also you can make a list. And here some of the facts has been given. For example, wildlife sanctuary is denoted by this symbol, bird sanctuary, and national parks. So national parks are very important: Rajgir, Dudhwa, Corbett, Rajaji. So try to locate them. You can also see, refer, and make a list of their flagship species, flora and fauna, and such other developments you can note at one place. Hence conservation is essential. As has been mentioned earlier, due to excessive exploitation of plants and animal resources by human beings, the ecosystem has been disturbed. About 1,300 plant species are endangered and 20 species are extinct. Quite a few animal species, these are old data. Now, if you will update, you will find much more species, many more species there. Quite a few animal species are also endangered and some have become extinct. The main cause for this major threat to nature are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, acid deposits. So what are the causes of loss of this biodiversity or disturbance to this ecosystem? So major threats: hunting, pollution, one is hunting, one is pollution, chemical and industrial waste, acid deposits, introduction of alien species, that is another threat, introduction of alien species, exotic species, and reckless cutting of the forest, deforestation, to bring land under cultivation and habitation are also responsible for the imbalance. So these are the threats to the natural environment, natural ecosystem, natural flora and fauna. To protect the flora and fauna of the country, the government has taken many steps. So what are the conservation steps that has been taken? 18 biosphere reserves, you can update the list, you should know about them, have been set up in the country to protect flora and fauna. And what is the difference between why biosphere reserves, national forests, wildlife sanctuary? What is the difference? Why are we declaring differently? Why not just one type of designation to all? So try to find out what is the difference, what is the difference in protection level, punishments, etc. 12 out of these, the Sundarbans, Nanda Devi, Gulf of Mannar, Nilgiri, Nokrek, Great Nicobar, Simlipal, Pachmadi, Ashna Kamar, Amarkantak, Agastya Malai, Kanchenjunga, and Panna have been included in the World Network of Biosphere Reserves, MAB, that I was talking earlier. So you can further update the list. This might be an old list. So see if new additions have been made to any list, either in these 18 or in these 12. Anywhere you can have updation. So 18 biosphere reserves, these are declared by Indian government, and 12 have been recognized by the International Man and Biosphere Program. What other steps? Financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustards, and other eco-development projects. So these are species-specific programs. Species-specific programs. So those species which need specific protection, more protection, or they are very flagship species in need of protection. So species-specific programs have also been launched. What is the central body created for implementation of Project Tiger? Find out all these informations. 103 national parks, 563 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens are set up to take care of natural heritage. All of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. It is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to the immediate end. All of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem for our own survival. They are not important in themselves only, they are also important because our survival depends on that. It is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to an immediate end. Okay, so indiscriminate means avivekpurn, matlab you are just going on destroying without thinking it thoroughly. विदाउट थिंकिंग इट थ्रू, उसको बहुत अच्छे से सोचे बिना कि क्या हमारे काम का है क्या नहीं है, इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा. यू आर जस्ट इनडिस्क्रिमिनेट मीन्स जैसे एक फिश पकड़ना है और पूरे ही फिश को कैप्चर कर लिया अपने जाल में, तो यू हैव नॉट डिस्क्रिमिनेटिंग. ठीक है, डिस्क्रिमिनेट करना मतलब कि आप विवेकपूर्ण निर्णय ले रहे हो कि व्हाट इज हार्मफुल, व्हाट इज यूजफुल, व्हाट इज सस्टेनेबल, व्हाट इज नॉट सस्टेनेबल, एंड देन एक्टिंग अकॉर्डिंगली. तो वैसा अगर आप करोगे तब ये सर्वाइवल भी पॉसिबल है, कंजर्वेशन भी पॉसिबल है. So on that end, on that tone, we will end this chapter. Migratory bird, you can learn about them. Many wildlife sanctuaries are designated where the migratory birds come, and what is the pathway of migratory birds, that is also very interesting areas. So these things you can learn on your. Okay, thank you. We will meet in the next video with next chapter. Thank you.